Something in the air has shifted. The halls of power feel quieter than usual, as if they too are waiting for an unseen signal. At a great desk of gold and glass, a hand once used to commanding armies and fortunes pauses mid-stroke. For a moment, the world itself seems to lean closer. Then the pen moves. Ink glides across parchment, sealing what was already written long ago. The decree is not about politics. It isn't law or ceremony. It's the sound of recognition, the visible world catching up to the invisible. The signature that bends light across the paper is only a mirror of the one already carved into eternity. What heaven whispered in secret has now reached the surface of history. You were never waiting for approval. The world was waiting for courage to acknowledge what it already knew about you. Power has finally stopped pretending it doesn't see you. The systems that once doubted your existence are now required to say your name aloud. Kings don't create destiny. They confirm it. They sign what the divine has already decreed. And somewhere between the scratch of the pen and the echo of silence afterward, the universe takes note. The chosen one's record is no longer private. It has entered the archives of the earth. The ink has dried. The moment is real. The decree stands. Under the chandeliers of history, a light older than electricity burns. The golden desk gleams like a relic from another age, carved not only from metal and wood but from memory itself. This is the place where power pretends to make decisions. Yet tonight, something greater has already decided. The air hums with quiet gravity. Every object in the room seems aware that it is witnessing a moment beyond politics. The ruler sits, posture steady, surrounded by advisors who whisper numbers, strategies, and fears. But the sound of their words fades beneath the pulse of something unseen. It is not the rustle of papers that matters now, but the rhythm of alignment. Heaven and earth sinking for a breathless second. The hand trembles before it steadies, guided by a will not its own. When the pen touches the page, the motion feels less like writing and more like surrender. The signature curves across the decree with slow inevitability, each line glowing faintly as it dries. No cameras capture it, yet every soul attuned to destiny feels a vibration ripple through them. It is a sound of resistance collapsing. The pen rests. The ruler exhales. Around him, the room softens. Portraits on the walls seem to shift. Guards lower their eyes. The moment feels weightless, almost sacred. The decree is signed, but the real act did not happen at that desk. It happened the instant power bowed to purpose. It happened when influence remembered humility. The signature is not a boast. It is an acknowledgement that something higher holds a final authority. And far beyond the golden walls, in the quiet spaces where the faithful keep their hope alive, a new current begins to flow. Those who can feel it know. The decree isn't for the few in that room. It's for the one reading these words now. Every decree signed on earth echoes a law already written somewhere beyond sight. Before ink touched parchment, before the pen was lifted from its holder, the order existed, sealed in heaven, waiting for the world to catch up. The signature you imagine happened tonight is only the reflection of an older seal, a mirror image cast downward from eternity. Heaven writes first, earth confirms later. The divine never rushes paperwork. It lets timing create weight. What was declared over you long ago has finally reached the registry of the visible realm. For years, you walked beneath an invisible authority. Now, that unseen crown glimmers faintly in daylight. It doesn't change who you are. It simply reveals what has been true all along. The decree reads simply, this one belongs to purpose. There are no conditions, no witnesses, no appeals. The seal bears neither flag nor emblem, only a circle of light. And with its arrival, an ancient tension dissolves. The pull between what you felt called to do and what the world allowed you to do. That gap is closing now. Everything around you begins to align with this recognition. Paths open without force. Resistance loses its argument. People who once ignored your presence now find themselves echoing your vision. You do not need to prove anything anymore. Proof is now woven into atmosphere. Still, with every recognition comes responsibility. Heaven signs no decree for display. It signs to activate. The ruler's hand moved so that yours might act. The ink on that paper is the permission you've been waiting to grant yourself. The invitation to live as though your purpose no longer needs external validation. Let it sink in. You are no longer hidden. You are documented in both realms. The ruler signed, but the true approval came from the silence that followed, the stillness of creation agreeing, yes, this is the moment. When the decree is signed in the unseen, its proof doesn't arrive as thunder. It seeps quietly into reality, like dawn through a curtain. You begin to notice subtle shifts, patterns rearranging, obstacles softening, voices that once doubted you now repeating fragments of your own truth. It's not coincidence, it's compliance. The world is simply responding to what's already been authorized. You'll find yourself recognized in places you never introduced yourself. Your ideas start to travel faster than you do. Doors that once required pleading now open at a knock, or sometimes before it. The systems that ignored you, institutions, relationships, entire structures of habit, begin to move with a strange gentleness, like soldiers standing aside for a procession. It's not flattery, it's alignment. The decree has adjusted the hierarchy of events. Even resistance takes a new shape. It doesn't attack anymore, it tests. People may question your calm, your sudden clarity, your refusal to fight small battles. They won't understand that you're not avoiding confrontation. You're conserving energy for something larger. The decree made you sovereign over distraction. You may also feel moments of quiet validation. Invitations that arrive out of nowhere, messages that echo something you wrote in solitude months ago, strangers who say they've been thinking of your words. These are the small confirmations of a larger orchestration. Still, be careful. Recognition is not the reward. It's the reminder. The signature didn't change your essence. It revealed your readiness. The signs are not about proving your importance. They're signals for movement. Each one whispers the same command. Act now. If you sense this unfolding, don't announce it prematurely. Let the signs accumulate until they form a pattern too clear to question. The decree was never meant to spark noise, but to initiate quiet authority. You don't need to shout that it's real. You only need to live as if it already is. The proof of the decree isn't in headlines. It's in harmony. When your outer life begins to sound like your inner conviction, you'll know the ink has dried on both sides of the veil. The decree was never written to make you famous. It wasn't designed to elevate one person above another or crown a hero in front of a crowd. It exists to commission, not to glorify. When heaven authorizes a name, it does so for service, not spectacle. The ruler's signature isn't a reward for endurance. It's an assignment sealed by recognition. This is the moment when acknowledgement becomes responsibility, when applause transforms into instruction. You are not being celebrated. You are being entrusted. The decree doesn't say you have arrived. It says you are now accountable. Every opportunity from this point carries weight. Every platform is a test of humility. Heaven never gives titles. It gives tasks. Power that doesn't serve collapses under its own name. So don't chase attention. Translate it. Use recognition as currency to lift others. The world doesn't need more crowned individuals. It needs commissioned ones. The decree simply states that you've been chosen to operate in both realms, influence and integrity, without losing balance. When you wake tomorrow, life might look ordinary, but that's part of the design. The greatest callings rarely announce themselves with ceremony. The pen stroke that sealed your destiny happened quietly. Your obedience will make it visible. Carry the decree like a letter you must deliver, not a medal you must display. Its ink glows only when you move. And the moment you act from selflessness instead of pride, the document breathes. Alive, luminous, unstoppable. Word travels faster than intent. Once the decree is signed, whispers begin to move through unseen channels, a message carried not by messengers but by energy. You might notice it in how people suddenly treat you differently, how attention shifts toward you without explanation, how even silence feels watchful. It isn't fame. It's recognition vibrating through the fabric of reality. The news spreads, but not as gossip. It's resonance. When purpose is officially acknowledged in one place, the echo finds every other heart tuned to the same frequency. Somewhere, someone who's never met you begins to feel inspired. Someone else starts to believe that timing might still be on their side. This is how divine acknowledgement multiplies. not through announcement, but through atmosphere. Do not chase a sound. Let it carry itself. The more you explain what's happening, the smaller it becomes. The decree didn't make you visible so you could seek applause. It made you visible so you could embody steadiness. Walk quietly. Power that moves with silence lasts longer. In this phase, restraint becomes your greatest protection. Let curiosity bloom around you, but keep mystery intact. The ruler's signature was meant to verify your mission, not expose your private map. Let them see the results, not the process. That is how divine work maintains dignity in a noisy world. When people ask what changed, smile. Say only that the paper was signed and that you're simply following instructions, because that's all destiny ever requires, to walk as if the world already knows. The decree didn't change who you are. It revealed who you've always been. Long before signatures, ceremonies, or confirmation from any ruler, your essence carried its own seal. You weren't waiting for approval. The world was waiting for awareness. Now that awareness has arrived, and with it comes a quiet inversion, you are no longer the one seeking endorsement. You are the standard that others measure authenticity against. This is a shift most people never prepare for. It's not about pride. It's about clarity. The decree didn't lift you above anyone. It placed you in full view of yourself. You finally see that the same authority once projected onto others has been living in your own decisions all along. The throne was never in the palace. It was in your posture. You're not endorsed by men. They're simply catching up to heaven's paperwork. Their signatures only echo what your endurance already proved. The respect that starts to appear around you is not flattery. It's reflection. People recognize stability because they crave it. They listen because your words now carry the weight of lived truth. But this is where humility becomes essential. The moment you confuse identity with image, the decree loses meaning. Power is never meant to decorate you. It's meant to flow through you. You are a conduit, not a monument. The light that shines on you is meant to illuminate paths for others, not to blind them. So stand differently now, not taller, but steadier. Walk not as someone newly crowned, but as someone newly confirmed. You don't have to defend your worth anymore. It's been documented. Every time you act with integrity, the decree renews itself. Every word spoken from truth reaffirms a seal. This is who you've been becoming all along. The decree didn't rewrite your story. It finally published it. After a decree is sealed in the unseen, the body always feels it first. You may wake with a strange electricity beneath your skin. Not anxiety, but awareness. The pulse quickens without reason, as if your heartbeat has synchronized with something larger. The hands warm when you create. The chest tightens before revelation. The breath slows during moments that once demanded panic. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations. Dreams start to shift, too. You might see rooms filled with parchment, halls lined with golden seals, or signatures glowing faintly on invisible air. These aren't fantasies. They're symbols of permission. The subconscious is translating the language of heaven into images you can remember. In your daily life, new rhythms emerge. Invitations appear from unexpected directions, not just from people, but from circumstances. Things you once had to chase now arrive unannounced. The timing of events begins to feel orchestrated, as though an unseen scheduler is arranging your days with surgical precision. Delays no longer frustrate you. They fascinate you. You start to understand that even detours are part of the coordination. The outer world mirrors the inner shift. You may notice light falling differently through your window, sounds carrying deeper resonance, colors appearing more alive. This is how recognition translates into environment. The world senses your recalibration and subtly adjusts around it. Don't ignore the small signals. A sudden breeze at a perfect sentence, an unexpected compliment, a silence that feels alive. These are traces of the decree's vibration weaving into matter. The physical is bending toward the spiritual, just as the ruler's ink once bent toward parchment. When the unseen begins to manifest in you, it's not proof that you're special. It's proof that alignment is real. The signs are gentle reminders that the paperwork of heaven is now in motion within your very cells. Every decree requires acknowledgement, not because heaven demands payment, but because gratitude finalizes what belief begins. When something invisible becomes visible, when promise becomes proof, a gesture of thanks anchors in reality. It's not the amount that matters, it's the intention. Every offering, every act of giving, is a statement to the unseen. I recognize what has arrived, and I choose to honor it. If this message resonates within you, mark it. Don't let it pass like another moment of inspiration that fades by morning. Anchor it with something physical, a prayer, a journal entry, a gesture of generosity, a whispered affirmation that seals what you feel now. The smallest motion can carry eternal weight if it's done with awareness. Say aloud, my decree is sealed. My mission is confirmed. Let these words become your seal of gratitude. Speak them once and let silence finish the sentence. The unseen always hears the sound of authenticity. When you act from acknowledgement, you strengthen the bridge between faith and form. You declare that you're ready not just to receive, but to steward. This is what separates the chosen from the waiting. Chosen ones act. They don't cling to confirmation. They respond to it. So if this moment stirs you, treat it as sacred. Give thanks in a language that feels truest. Time, service, generosity, stillness. Whisper it or write it, but don't let it go unspoken. Because once gratitude leaves your lips, the decree no longer sits in archives. It begins to live through you. Now that the decree has been acknowledged, the next chapter is not celebration. It's stewardship. You've been entrusted with something powerful, and the way you carry it will determine how long it lasts. Authority without humility becomes noise. Influence without purpose becomes weight. What has been confirmed must now be expressed through discipline, through quiet mastery. Begin with your words. Speak only when clarity is present. Each sentence you form now holds consequence. The same energy that once sealed a decree now flows through your speech. So use it wisely. A careless word can unravel alignment. A truthful one can rebuild universes. Then, guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your focus. Power attracts curiosity, and curiosity often disguises distraction. Learn to distinguish between those drawn to your light and those drawn to your spotlight. You owe explanation to no one, only authenticity to yourself. Carry yourself like a calm center in a spinning world. Let steadiness be your signature. Your strength will not be shown in grand gestures, but in quiet consistency. Keep your routine sacred. Keep your motives clean. Leadership is not about control. It's about example. When recognition grows, bow deeper into gratitude. Each opportunity is both a stage and a test, an invitation to demonstrate grace under the weight of expectation. Remember, the ruler's pen gave you visibility, but heaven's intention gave you vision. Serve the vision. Finally, remain teachable. Authority does not make you finished. It makes you accountable. Listen for correction, not as criticism, but as confirmation that growth continues. The decree made you official. Humility will make you eternal. You're no longer proving yourself. You're preserving what was entrusted. That is how a decree becomes a dynasty, through quiet guardianship, not noise. Author of time, keeper of order, the one who governs both pen and purpose, we pause to breathe in the weight of what has been written. The decree is sealed. The words that once hid in silence have become sound. The invisible has taken shape. We thank you not only for recognition, but for responsibility. Not for glory, but for grounding. We stand before you now as those entrusted with a mission, not a title. Teach us to carry it lightly. Keep us humble beneath the light of confirmation. Let us remember that every signature power is borrowed ink. It fades unless renewed by integrity. Let our lives become the parchment where your wisdom continues to write. For every chosen one reading these words, may peace replace striving. May assurance replace doubt. Let the mind be still enough to hear direction, and the heart brave enough to follow it. When the world calls for performance, may we choose presence. When others chase crowns, may we build foundations. We ask for discernment, to know when to speak and when to stay silent, to feel the difference between opportunity and distraction, to sense when recognition is meant to be shared, not held. Let every success point back to source. Let every step forward leave behind a trace of light, not noise. Bless the hands that create, the voices that teach, the hearts that heal. Let every action born from this decree ripple outward as order in a world that craves chaos. Protect the purity of our intentions, for we now move as representatives of purpose itself. And when we falter, because we will, remind us that the signature was not given to perfect people, but to willing ones. Restoration is written into the decree. Forgiveness is part of the ink. So today, we mark this moment. We accept what has been entrusted. We choose to walk in quiet authority, knowing that the true ruler of destiny already reigns within. The decree stands not because of human power, but because heaven never attracts what affirms. Amen. Type amen to acknowledge your confirmation. Click join to stand with the first chosen ones, those walking under the decree of divine purpose. Click super thanks to declare, the decree is signed, the mission begins. And when you close this page, remember, the ruler's signature was a mirror. The true decree lives inside you. It will not fade, it will not age, and it will not wait. The moment you walk forward in truth, the seal glows brighter. Because the decree was never about the paper. It was always about the person.